I'm going to get out of Discord. What's going on, everybody? We're live with episode 6 of the Weekly Walkoff. It is myself today and Greg back here on a Sunday afternoon. Let's go. What's going on, Greg?
Not much. Feeling good. It's been a nice weekend of baseball and NBA, but I've been torn. Actually, it worked out for me because I'm a Boston guy, and the Red Sox are playing the Angels, so they're blacked out in LA for me, which is just terrible. But the Celtics were on, so it was fine. Celtics were on a national broadcast. So
the C's did work, did they not?
They did.
Yeah, that was an ugly one.
This series is kind of a wash, but it's the next series that we got to be a little nervous about.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. Who do you think you guys are locking up with in the next series?
Let's see. Is it here I am.
Not the Bucks. Those are opposite ends. Probably the Knicks, huh?
I think it's going to be the Knicks. But I haven't even followed the score from last night, so
nice. Anyways, welcome in everybody to the chats. We're going to get into the baseball stuff here. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff that we've been looking at over the past week. Man, baseball is on fire. I think the Rays are highlighting everything. Greg, you got them on your team. They're looking really solid. They finally dropped 2 games to the Jays, which are on my squad. So that was fun to see, but I was glued into that one all weekend.
Yeah.
And that was just a fun series, man. The NL East is going to be a blast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they took 4 out of 4 from the Red Sox. So that was not as fun as much as I was rooting for them because they're on my team and they're, it's just exciting to see a team that no one really expected to do it super well. But yeah, the streak is over, tied for the longest since 1899 or something like that.
Yep. I think so. They, they tied it. Yeah. One more to go and they would have had that record. Would have been so cool to see. Springs went down though, unfortunately.
Oh man, you had him in Sorare, right?
I did. We actually gave him away. James, was the guy who kind of shouted out in the chat that we should give him away as the hot pitcher for the week. We did that, and then of course, we got one use out of him, and I think he's down for a couple weeks now. So off to a good start. But I mean, the depth on the Rays is pretty impressive.
Absolutely. How about Brandon Lau? Just homering every game.
He's on fire, man. Wander can't miss. They look pretty good. Speaking of, maybe we take a look at the stat leaders to start it off. Garrett Cole, complete game shutout today.
How about Luis Arraez too? Looking at the average. So not only did he hit for the cycle this week, I feel like he is just so under the radar. He does not enter the conversation with any of these guys that are also on this list, with the exception of, I guess, Bryson Stott. But but he's a superstar. He won the batting title last year. He's almost batting 500 2 weeks into the season. I know that's not going to stick, but he's just picked up right where he left off, but with a new team. I should tell you, on Friday, I did a live stream for my buddy. He wanted to get into candy, and I'll save and talk more about it when we get to the candy section, but he had $100 to spend and he wanted to know what to buy on candy. And I loaded him up with Luis Arraez for a long-term hold. I think that dude is so under the radar.
He's so good. I made a special note on my gambling tips to myself today is Luis Arraez versus righties. Just take him on the over hits, runs, and RBIs every time you get a chance because he mashes. DJ Local, what's going on? Grabbed Bryson Stott this week. Nice move, man. Nice move. I don't know how he did today, but I know they just absolutely mashed the Reds. I think it was 13-2.
Wow. Yeah, DJ Loco was there when I was typing up Luis Arraez to my friend, so he knows.
Nice. I love it. Drop us in the chats, you guys. If you're here watching live, let us know what games you've been watching this week. What players you have your eye on. This is pretty nice to see, huh? Am I right? Rafi Devers.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know Alonso tied him, but yeah, he's been quietly raking Devers, just 7 home runs. I don't even know how many games it's been. 14?
Yeah, that's absurd. They have a pretty sweet matchup coming up in Boston this week. Who's on the docket for them?
So they have one more game against the Angels. Which is Marathon Monday, which is always the best Sox game of the year because it starts at 11. So I will be driving to work listening to the Red Sox in action, which is always my favorite day of the year. After that, let's see. They head to
Oh, it's Marathon Monday, meaning like Boston Marathon Monday.
uh-huh.
Wow. Okay.
And it's
Cool.
the 10-year anniversary to the marathon bombings.
Wow.
And subsequently the World Series team in 2013 and just Boston Strong and all that. So they had this incredibly touching ceremony today, which I could not watch because it was blacked out in LA. But they had that whole team come back onto the field. They had like Pedroia, Big Poppy, Johnny Gomes, like that whole crew, even Koji Uehara, closer, back on the
Nice.
field. So it's been cool to watch some of the highlights from that.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Goosebump stuff right there. Who else we got? Man, seven nukes for Devers. That's insane. I mean, like I saw him going like, I think, what was it? There was one game week where I am playing him in So Rare, right? And he's just like throwing up a dud. And then I think that was when he raked a grand slam like last Sunday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a nice big pop right there.
I think the other surprise on this list, well, I mean, Muncy, I went to Dodgers opening day and he struck out 4 times, golden sombrero. And I was like, how Muncy? But you blink and he's in the list right here. And then also Ryan Mountcastle, he's, kind of flown under the radar. This is what, his 3rd or 4th season with the Orioles, but he can hit bombs. That, he also sounds like an English king, but yeah, he's someone to watch.
Yeah, Sir Ryan Mountcastle. That's got a nice ring. I mean, like, that's a dude like that. A couple of the people that I were listening to were talking about preseason. I just did not know enough about him. They said he raked, and yes, look at he's just raking. I mean, like the way that they brought back the fence in Baltimore, I thought was like an issue. I saw a game in Baltimore last year, and I'm like, my goodness, that thing is so far out there. I don't know, like how righties survive at this ballpark. But apparently it's not an issue to him.
He's second in RBI too.
Yeah, second. Oh my God. 20 RBIs already for Jordan.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
I think Mountcastle, it's interesting that he's on a team. It's the Orioles, right? So they're not like necessarily the most hyped, most watched team, but even within his team, he's pretty far down the list of like exciting newcomers. Because you got Adley, you got Gunnar, you got whoever just made their major league debut. Grayson Rodriguez just made their debut. So like Mountcastle's still like a young dude with experience playing time. I don't know. I would not be surprised if he maintained a decent pace this season.
I could see that, man. That whole lineup is just stacked. I mean, of course, in So Rare, the Orioles were stacked up against the A's this week. So they just absolutely like dominated. Austin Hayes had a nice week too. Mountcastle put up a 100. RBIs. Yeah. Randy's on fire this season, of course, as with everybody on the Rays. The Jays are looking pretty good too. Arise is down there with hits. Bo Bichette, Ronald Acuna looking good. And Matt Chapman I think leads the lead in slugging right now. After this weekend, he had a slow weekend. He didn't play on Friday due to like some sickness or something like that. But yeah, he's off to a really good start. We'll get into pitching in just a second. But DJ Local saw that Trout is now scheduled for 4 games this week. Don't know if something's changed there or not. I do not know. You know anything about that? I mean, it's against you guys. So
he's 4 games. Yeah, they must just not have an off day. Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they weren't counting. Maybe they initially weren't counting Marathon Monday because it starts an hour earlier than the normal slate, and then they decided to count it. That would be my guess.
Okay, nice. There we go.
But yeah, Chapman on this list. Chapman is the one name you wouldn't have expected there this early in the season.
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting for the Jays.
My man's on a contract year too. I like him. I bought him early. I've always liked Chappie. Seen him play a couple times live. I just like the way the dude hits. But yeah, stolen bases, Ronald Acuna at 7, Mateo, Nico Horner, and Cedric Mullins up there for the lead, huh? Interesting.
Wow. I have no idea, but I would be curious what the last year, what the stolen base totals were at this time in the season.
Yeah, that's good to point out. I mean, 8 just seems like a lot already, but hey, who knows? There's a couple guys out there that are bags guys that are just a little bit off to a slow start. Look at over here on the right. Look at I'm shopping for a Red Sox hat. They're
There you
already
go.
feeding the cookies. I promise. I told you. I
It's
found one.
literally at the two of us because is that the Giants?
Yeah. I got it. I have in my cart right now a
Oh my
Giants one and
gosh.
a Red Sox hat. So,
Scary.
the one that I got for the Red Sox, I'll show you. I haven't bought it yet, but I think you'll love it. It's like a green one. Here we go. Right here.
Ooh. Oh, I
It's
like that. It's
green.
like army green.
It's green. It's a snapback with the Boston logo, and it has one of their World Series patches on the right.
Oh wow.
So, pitching. Let's move into pitching, and then we can hop in to take a look at some of the top performers on So Rare. Panther Rob, what's going on? Let us know how you guys did this week in So Rare. We're gonna have, of course, a section on that, a section on candy, and then do a little bit of our MLB picks at the end. But my goodness, Garrett Cole already with 4 wins. Shane McClanahan looking lights out. Had a great game today. And Gibson up there. Okay. Gibson, Joe Ryan, and Luis Urias.
Joe, I gotta, not to pat myself on the back. There's lots that I've failed on, but Joe Ryan, I have been super high on since the end of last season. I don't know how much it matters, but I stacked the shit out of him in candy.
Love it.
Because it will be his rookie, get the rookie badges and all that good stuff. There's still a lot of affordable Joe Ryan on there, but it's fantasy too. I just locked him in at the beginning of the season, and he is not disappointed so far.
What made you go after him? Just watching him last season, or?
It's just stuff I read in the offseason that he was just it was honestly candy that I was just looking for rookies, under the radar rookies that I could just stack up in my collection. And, my whole approach to candy is the 5-year plan. Like, I am taking a gamble that this site will be around in 5 years, that they'll still have the license. And if it does, then every single one of these, rookies or debut badges are going to be worth more than the 50-cent floor they're at. So he's one that I targeted just because it was, his rookie moment, his only moment. And I stacked him.
Love it. I think one of the stuff that, I'm not huge into like the advanced statistics stuff. I do like them and I'm learning more about them, but apparently the movement and the rise on Joe Ryan's fastball is what makes him so filthy. Like, he has one of the nastiest moving fastballs in the game. So that'll be something interesting to see. We got a comment here. Medich 31, Medic 31. Welcome on in. On So Rare, of the 5, who should I sell? Lindor, Brandon Lowe, Jimenez, Will Smith, Jonathan India, or just keep all 5? Oof. I personally, I would probably sell Jonathan India out of those. I think he's off to a good start. I don't know his numbers off the top of my head, but look, I think I love the offense that Lindor's in. Lowe's looking really good. Jimenez, I've actually seen play a lot this year. Looks amazing. Will Smith just rakes. I just picked up my first Will Smith. I picked up a rare Will Smith. He was on there for 100, and of course, he got sick and didn't play this weekend. So I absolutely threw up a dud in that lineup. But man, he's been on fire to start the season.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my controversial take. I hate to say it. I feel like you should sell Brandon Lau.
Okay. Starting hot, sell high, huh? I
would say, if you're ever going to sell high, I mean, could he maintain this pace for the whole season? Maybe, but probably not. He hasn't really historically. So don't be mad at me, but he's the one that you probably get the best deal for right now.
There we go. Fire it off. He's had injury concerns in the past. Hopefully he stays healthy this year. But yeah, I think another thing too is there's a lot of depth in that. He's an everyday player. I've learned that the platoon guys are tough. I haven't had much luck playing the platoon guys at the right time. Like, even when I'm starting lefties versus righties and all that kind of stuff, it just hasn't really worked out. When I'm going up against like a 4-game week or something like that, it's always like split right down the middle. Like, they're facing 2 lefties or 2 righties, and like, I'm not really able to squeeze all the juice out of that score. But regardless, I actually kind of like that take. Not bad.
I think Jimenez too. There was an article that came out that I read that was like, how likely are these guys to maintain their pace? Let me see if I can find it. I don't want to speak wrong to it, but Jimenez was one of them.
No problem, man. Thanks for stopping by. What else you guys got? Let us know in the chats. We'll look here as Greg's pulling that up. ERA, Shohei. Have you seen Shohei pitch this year? I actually haven't had a chance to see Shohei pitch because all the blackouts on Angels games.
I know we got another one we got another one tomorrow. He's pitching Marathon Monday against the Sox, so
Ooh,
I will not be able to watch, or maybe no.
they should nationally televise that one.
I agree. At
That's
11 a.m., 8 a.m. Pacific.
It's a crime that they don't. So Shohei, Sonny Gray up there with the .53 ERA. Jeffrey Springs, wishing him a speedy recovery. Garrett Cole just looking filthy. And Kyle Freeland. 2 of his 3 starts were in Colorado, too. And look at his ERA, .96. One of them was against the Cardinals, too, who are looking a little bit shaky. But I love Kyle Freeland this year. He's looking solid.
Look at those, just the ERA across the top 5 that's absurd.
It's just filth. Last time I was watching today, I need a big game from Teoscar. Hopefully they can give Luis Castillo some run support, but he was perfect through 6.
Castillo was?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe check that up.
I'm in a battle for my fantasy week, and my opponent, we were like basically tied going today. My opponent had Garrett Cole, who pitched a 2-hit shutout. So I was like, I'm done. But
and you have Castillo?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see. What
Spicy.
Oh my God. How did I do this? I was like 50 points down, and now I have a 2-point lead.
Let's go.
Trey Turner, Matt Olson. It's all Castillo. Oh, it's only 1-0. Oh, and I have Aaron Nola, who pitched a gem too, looks like.
Nola did all right. I think he was 2 earned runs through 6.
Got it.
Wanted him to have a massive so rare score. He didn't put up a massive number, but he put up a 22, which is solid enough. I'm sure no one cares about my fantasy success, but I just gotta share where I'm at right now. Yeah, I'll throw it up. We all care about it, Greg. We want you to get the dubs. Let's see here.
I'm somehow I'm 2 points ahead. I think he is done. Yeah, Bieber's done. Cole's done. Look at that. That's insane. Almost a 40-point game for Cole. But if Castillo can match it, so here's the danger. He's got the Mets closer with a 1-run lead heading into the 7th. So that's 2 innings away from being a save opportunity.
Okay.
This is done. I don't have a closer. Both my closers pitched today. So here's the interesting.
Yep.
A, I need Teoscar just like you.
Please.
B, it's going to come down to Sunday Night Baseball. Kyle Tucker for me versus Jordan for him.
Oh, sweet. That's a fun one.
2-point difference. If Castillo can finish this game, get the win and the quality start, I'll have a nice cushion. But this is getting crazy.
Getting crazy. Buckle up. I love a nice Sunday night finish. That's for sure. I
have watch the game now.
I have some Sunday night action coming up too. I have my so rare lineup. We'll look at it in a second, but I have Framber tonight. So we will see if we can get a nice start from Framber. Another injury too yesterday, and I was watching it. John Gray took a liner off the arm. Did you see that? Right off his pitching arm?
I didn't see it. I had him in Prize Picks for strikeouts, and he pitched like an inning and a half, and I didn't see why, but that makes sense.
Oh, I forget who hit it. Definitely a righty. I remember seeing it as I was walking out the door, right off his arm, which is a bummer because I had him starting in my AL team too. Hunter Brown looked like a monster out there yesterday.
Yeah,
he got into some trouble early on. I think he had an unearned run early on, bases loaded. They turned a double play to get 2 outs and let a run score. So this was in like the second. They went down 2-0, and then he was just like a man with his hair on fire. Just got a strikeout to close out the inning. Just all fired up and closed out the game. So
amazing.
DJ Local's got an underdog team already over 1,700. Sheesh. Huge week. Is that Local? Is that on your underdog, one of your underdog best ball teams, or is that a weekly draft? Probably a weekly draft, right? I'm not doing too many of those on Underdog. I'm sticking to the pick'ems for the most part, but need to get into the daily contest a little bit more. Saves, Romano, Clase, Holmes is looking good, Bednar, and Duran. I should have bought Duran when I had a chance instead of going with Camilo Doval. Man, he's looking shaky out there. Muncy 6 home runs is a byproduct of a terrible Giants series against the Dodgers. Pablo Lopez leading the lead in strikeouts is a little bit mind-blowing to me.
He's another one I love. I was shocked that he got traded. I mean, it was Pablo Lopez for Luis Arraez, an interesting swap, and I guess it's kind of working out for both at the moment.
Yeah, that's amazing. Both teams looking pretty good. Quality starts, Garrett Cole and Shane Bieber up at the top. Here are the league standings, and I guess we'll kind of just look into, we'll brush over this real quick because we pretty much, I think, run our course. We can kind of pop into So Rare and then on to other things in the video, but just a quick look in at the standings. 14-2 for the Rays with a 72 run differential.
That's right.
What is that?
Insane. Sorry, you want to pull him back up?
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Nice. I thought I was on there. With a 72 run differential, the Jays and Yankees tied in second. Baltimore, Red Sox still hanging in there with the 500 record. Twins looking real nice. Guardians playing okay baseball. Rangers at the top of the West. Okay. Astros off to a slow start.
I love that. I love this Mariners. One too. Yeah, I love this AL West picture right now. It's a tight race. Poor Athletics, but it's a tight race between those four teams. That is, you say what you will about the AL East, NL East, but that AL West is going to be fun if these teams can maintain. Like, Rangers are underdogs. Angels, how can you ever root against the Angels this season, especially? And then the Mariners, are still the kind of golden prince of the league. So that's going to be a fun one to watch.
So much fun, man. I completely agree. I've been watching a lot of Mariners baseball lately too, on the MLB TV. So got a lot of stock in them, fantasy wise, So Rare wise. It's a lot of fun. National League, the Braves and the Mets up top. No surprises there. Phillies off to a really slow start, though, 6-10. In the Central, the Brew Crew, 27 run differential, looking nice up at the top of that division. And the Cardinals struggling big time.
Yeah.
They'll be all right. Their bats need to come around. The Pirates are actually kind of fun to watch, man. Like, they've got some arms in that bullpen.
Yeah. It was painful to see O'Neal Cruz go down.
Yeah.
He's someone else I've been so high on, and just like a huge mammoth of a human being and has so much power, but it was tough to see that.
Yeah. Down in the NL West, what do we got here? Diamondbacks up at the top. Dodgers still looking good. Padres, 500 with Tatis on his way back. Have you seen what he's been doing in the minors? I think Candy was where I saw that retweet yesterday.
Yes.
You see that?
Seems, yeah. Oh my God. It's when they get him back. I mean, is he going to play outfield? Is that because Xander's at short?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
It's just not even fair. I mean, statistically, we haven't seen them dominate the standings yet, but if 3 of their 4 superstars click at the same time, it's not fair. Not even close to fair.
I can't. I mean, I like Tatis Jr. He is so exciting to watch, man. I say what you may about the Padres. For me, the Padres fans kind of pissed me off last year when they were going crazy at me on TikTok. So I'll bite my tongue for this year. But man, Tatis Jr. is electric, man. I was talking to Nate about this, but I think that, I will go the extra mile to set the best possible So Rare team. Spend a little extra money if I need to make sure that my lineup is tip top shape when that first Tatis Jr. drops. Just so if I do get in that top tier one, maybe it's that Tatis Jr. Who knows?
Love that. Look at DJ Local's latest comment. It's a really good point.
Here we go. So with teams not playing in their division as much, things will be closer across the whole league. Yeah, I like that too.
It's a really good point. And I mean, it's fun to imagine October or the days leading up to, right?
Yep.
And how even things could be. And I think, the Diamondbacks are in first place in the West. Is that going to stay? Absolutely not. But they may be closer to 500.
Yeah, I mean the
So
Rockies could be close to a 500 team. I mean they don't look like 5-10 right now. They've played some tough games. Yeah, things are going to get interesting. I mean, baseball is on fire this year, man. It's been so much fun. I never was like I didn't know, to be honest, what that pitch clock would do. Like I went into it with an open mind, saying kind of like, okay, we'll see how it goes. I was always to the like my initial thought was that if people aren't watching a 3-hour game, why would they be watching a 2.5-hour game? But I think I was
right.
wrong. I mean, at least until now, it's more, it's quicker pace. It's the thing. It's more of exciting of a game. Like it's interesting to see what the viewer numbers will be, but I think they may have been onto something, man.
I think so too. Yeah. And I think it'll really take a couple of years to fully flourish and us to fully see the effect. But yeah, baseball's been fun. And would be curious to hear a non-fan how deeply they're embedded in it or how much they're paying attention versus previous seasons. But I'm right there with it.
There we go. Lincoln, the auction, I agree, on Tatis is going to be insane to watch. How long before they put him up, I do not know. I think that they'll wait until he plays his first game back. So when's he coming back? On the 20th this week?
Is that true already?
When is Tatis back? I'll look that up.
Oh, man. I got to see if he's available in my fantasy league. There's no way
Yeah,
he is.
April 20th at the earliest. Wow. That's this week. Let's go.
Let's see.
DJ Local says maybe less teams are sellers at the trade deadline. Yeah.
Fun thought.
Yeah. I mean, like if everything's closer, I don't see why not. There's still going to be teams moving people, obviously, but we'll see. I think everyone always needs relievers at the deadline, so we'll see how that ends up. But man, it'd be crazy. Yeah, next week Tatis Jr. is back. Hopefully that game is put up on national TV somewhere. Everyone wants to see it. All right, Sorare game week 4. This one will high step over. I had a pretty decent week this week. Took 1/10 out of 1,000 on limited AL. Got me a nice little reward. Jesus Sanchez, I think, is who I got. So like a tier 5 guy. 45th out of 1,000 on the rare all-star. The Cardinal stack ended up working out. Edmonds playing just all right now, not too great. Arenado finished the week strong. That got me a Jack Flaherty rare. So big weeks from Zach Gallen, Corbin Burns, and your guy Joe Ryan, Gosman. That was a tough one for me, man. I had Gosman playing up right here, and he actually didn't get the win. They came back to I think tie that game, and it prevented him from getting 5 points. And I think the reliever got the win on that one. Maybe even Romano.
Is that game week done?
This game week is done. Yeah, this was from part of
last week. Sorry.
Yeah, this was from part of last week. Just kind of taking a quick glance at the top. Pete Fairbanks with the 38 didn't even score this week. They lost twice to the Jays, and then we're ahead by too much today. And I started him, so that was a nice 0 for me on that, which was rough. Muncy with the 87 and Mountcastle with the 87. Those are crazy games.
Insane. Mountcastle would have been both of those guys would have been such a clutch pickup before the season.
I think he had a 9 RBI game.
He did. Yeah, he had a grand slam.
2 bombs, 9 RBIs, 2 singles, and 6 runs. How's about that for a game?
Insane. I mean, Arise was up there too with his cycle. I guess he'd be what? Middle infielder?
Middle infielder? Let me see here. There we go.
50. So I guess it was just that one game, but I remember checking my lineup after that happened, and I was like, ooh.
Here's the 37. Yep. 10 plus 8 plus 5 plus 2, 2 RBIs and 2 runs. We'll take that.
Yeah. Well, I love him. If I haven't said so already on this podcast.
Well, yeah, you got the first note up there on that sheet. What's the extra points for us on that?
25 points per milestone moment, which I feel like cycles, triple plays. I have a list of them that I wrote out, but we'll see some more this season.
That's big.
Yeah.
Here we go. Panther Rob back in here. 36 in limited majors,
Ooh.
230 points. That's a week.
Who else you got? Who do you have left? Anyone tonight?
Tonight? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who's tonight, Panther Rob? Who you got? Let us know.
Oh, but you have Framber tonight.
For me, I got Framber tonight with 177 points on the board. Don't know. Would love to crack the top 500 in that. Top 500 gets you. I think this is going to be too hard to see. I might have to find a way to do this easier and quicker on Sorare data or something like that. But I'm thinking if Framber can get me 40, 45, puts me at 107, 112 or 212 or so. I don't know if that's going to crack the top 500, but a tier 1 would be sweet. There we go. Panther Rob's done with Devin Williams getting the save today. So hold on. That game is probably still going. I think it's probably not quite to the 9th yet down in San Diego. So
wait, that's the Mets game?
No, that would be Brewers Padres.
Oh, Brewers Padres. Okay.
Oh, I had a fun one over here. I'll show you guys. I decided to go for it. This is an interesting strategy for the Sorare. Let me know in the chats, guys. Are you using relief pitchers who are making starts? Because I tried to do that last week with Flexen, who looked pretty good at times. And thanks, Chris.
Oof.
Negative 14.
That's tough. Oh man, Castillo finished it off. 1-0 Seattle with the win.
Wow. Okay. How many hits did they get?
Let's see. 3. But off of Castillo, he gave up 2. 7 innings, 2 hits.
Okay. 7 innings, 2 hits. Nice.
Well, that puts me in a nice spot. I am 9 points ahead in fantasy, but he's got Robertson. If Robertson comes and pitches the 9th for the Mets, it's going to get a lot trickier.
Yeah, but you got Tucker versus Jordan. That'll still be fun. You got a little. How many points for a save?
I think 10.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's going to be tight. Anyway.
This one right here, I need to know what I need to hang on to. This is basically done. So Teoscar's done. 1 game left. I have a tier 4 right now. I'd love to hang on to that instead of dropping down to a tier 5. And 200 people get the tier 4. So I think I should be 35 away. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close.
Can I ask you a very dumb, so rare question that I should know?
Yeah, bring it.
So the tiers, a tier 1 versus tier 2, 3, 4, 5, is that just based on player like level, like superstar in tier 1? Or is it more based in the stats?
It is. That's actually a really good question, though, because I found this out too. I was trying to find the fine print somewhere. And if anybody out there listening to this knows, I actually found this about Sorare NBA from one of my NBA videos last week. But the tiers are a varying like schedule. So you know how to find those, right? If you go into the prize pool and you click in on like whatever the tier, you can just go common or limited or whatever. It shows you like how to filter out the tier 1s and stuff like that. I was told that this is all based on price on the marketplace. And I wanted to see what the fine print is. And it makes sense because these guys are, fluctuating and changing and stuff like that. So, that kind of gives reason why that Masataka Yoshida was a tier 1, right? Even though he's a newer player, his supply was so limited on the marketplace that his price is elevated, right? Because he doesn't have any last season's cards and he's, a guy that's producing. So therefore, he was a tier 1. Therefore, you can swap him out for another tier 1. stuff like that. But yeah, that's a great question right there. I mean, and if anybody knows too, I'm actually been meaning to reach out to Sorare on that because I didn't see it in the playbook. Yeah, Lincoln, you probably heard that from me in the Discord if I had to say, but yeah, because we were talking about that in the Discord too. So that's how kind of it's been. But I'll dig into that a little bit more for next week for sure.
Nice. I have a question for you, which maybe could become a segment. What's your buy of the week looking ahead?
Ooh, buy of the week. That's a great question. Here we go. Let's take a look at the schedule moving forward for the week, where we kind of like to talk about like, what maybe some of the best stacks are. I like this too. I mean, like this is now favorited on my favorites bar, just so that I can come in here and kind of look at a glance, like who are the starting pitchers coming up, right? Buy of the week. So we got a couple of matchups that are going to be cool. Chicago, Oakland. That's a potential stack. Houston. Angels, Boston, Cleveland, Detroit, San Francisco, Miami. We can take a look at my favorites. I've been doing this too. I'll give you guys a little quick look into what some of my favorites might be. And I've just been favoriting guys. You know who I did see yesterday pitch against Seattle, who just looked absolutely nasty. And here's a better answer for my buy of the week. I really need to work on relief pitchers, man. Relief pitchers have been the thorn in my side.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to get as much depth as I can at reliever so that I can kind of really analyze what's going on. Like, do they have 4 games? Like, is it even worth throwing in a closer there if the closer might not get that opportunity, or just throwing in a guy that's going to get a couple relief innings? Picked up Cionel Perez on the Orioles, who I had picked up in the offseason on the rare card. Like, It was a really, like, one of the scoutings that I did, like, just really liked his stats from last year. So I picked him up in common too, now that they have the AL and the NL. But was watching the Rockies Mariners game last night, and Pierce Johnson looked nasty.
Oh, favorite name in the baseball right now, Pierce Johnson.
He was untouchable. Yeah, such a name.
Ooh, and he's cheap. He's cheap.
Yeah, he's like $3 or something like that.
I might have to just scoop.
Yeah, scoop one up. But yeah, he was looking good. Would like to add another high end guy on rare for a bat.
Yeah.
Don't know. I have a feeling that prices are going to be coming down a little bit though, with more rewards released and more rewards released. So I'm trying to be a little bit patient without going too crazy. But I did pick up, Ronald Acuna Jr. is eventually going to be on my list. I need to find a way to get him somehow.
Yeah.
I went off and did auctions for Austin Riley and Bo Bichette the other day.
Love those.
And Vladdy. So like those were a little bit more down to earth price range. Like those will drop too, but I figure, getting used for them out of a whole season, I'm just going to have my fun with them.
I have my answer too, which is a bit, a bit lopsided for my Sox fandom, but if you pull up my screen,
here we go.
Your boy Garrett Whitlock back from injury, relief pitcher designation. And actually, look, he's got both. I never noticed this. He's got both starting pitcher and relief pitcher designation here.
Yep. So
they switched that mid-season last year, I guess.
Yeah, they can switch it mid-season. Yeah. So if a reliever becomes a starter and that cheat code is kind of in play where like for example, like Strider started off with reliever designation last year, when they mint new cards, they can change the position, therefore making the initial card that much more valuable.
So if I scooped this starter, he would not be eligible in the reliever position.
That's
correct.
If
I scooped reliever, he would be eligible and get the points if I put it. Wow. So that makes the relief pitcher one way more valuable. Yeah.
Yes. you know, put it from low, filter it from low ask to high. You'll see that reflected in the
Yeah.
pricing. Oh, there we go. It is. Okay.
So
Cool.
it is, and I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of is, but
There's a couple guys too, and I kind of swept the floor on a reliever, like doubled down on, the fact that I missed out on Seth Lugo having relief designation. Um, a couple weeks ago, he's looking good for San Diego, and I noticed that Weathers was going to get start, Ryan Weathers. So I basically swept the floor on him for $5, and I think whatever. I'm going to try to make some profit on it, and maybe even start him this week. He has had a tough first go at it, but he's starting again tomorrow against the Braves. So He's got 2 tough starts. He pitched really well against the Mets in New York as his debut. So as a starter this year. So he's got another tough go at it, but he's at home against the Braves. So I might go with him. We'll see. I also picked up Anthony DeSclafani too, and he had a nice game for me at reliever yesterday. Nice. So he's a full-on starter. I picked him up for 14. So they're all those guys who can start, who are relievers, are all kind of around. Some of them are higher priced, but you can still get a pretty good one in there for like $12 to $14, like Whitlock was. I like that call.
Whitlock, I'll say he is the first Red Sox starter this season to go more than 6 innings. To record an out in the 6th inning or later, I think is the terrible stat. But he pitched well today against the likes of Ohtani and Trout. He's been historically pretty good, so that's why I'm taking a swing at him.
There we go.
And he doesn't have any new cards for auction, so it seems like the quantity that's out there is it, right?
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, for now. I mean, they could trickle a little bit more. We never know. But I think, Nate had mentioned Kikuchi too. He's got reliever designation from his last year's card, and they've kind of halted on it too. And that may be a decision that they're making based on like really trying to figure out what that position is. So that's a little bit of speculation on there too.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
We look at Jose Alvarado for relief pitcher. He is up there in his K rate is ridiculous. I know that about Alvarado. I think I did look at him last week to see what he was at. There we go. Nice. $7, not bad. Yeah, I'm trying to add slowly to my stacks and kind of picking out like random things. Like I want a little bit more depth. In terms of like strategy, like, oh shoot, sorry, Greg.
No worries.
Removed you there. What I'm struggling with right now is really kind of going in and figuring out like where to make my plays. So if we go to like upcoming right here, I gotta add this to the screen for next week, right? Like I have certain cards that are going to work for, Kikuchi did have a good game. I have certain cards that I want to play for rare, obviously, and like depends on the matchups, like is where I decide to kind of put all my eggs in a basket, right? So this week I went pretty much as I could on the rare pro to try to shoot for the top because I thought I had a competitive lineup, and then I just like got destroyed. Limited pro worked out, and then I kind of filled things out in All-Star, then NL and AL. But the week prior to that, where I actually yielded on limited, I decided to go for it on the AL and the NL before the All-Star. So even though there were more rewards, there's a lot less people playing in those competitions. So I figured if I could put up a nice number there, and I like my squad, then trying to play the numbers. But
absolutely.
All right. Should we talk about Candy a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm catching up a bit. Candy has been just cooking, just absolutely cooking. I don't know what you guys talked about last week, so I don't want to overlap too much, but we know they have challenges incorporated. There are monthly challenges, there are weekly challenges, there are 24-hour challenges, all of which give you a point total that goes into your overall point totals for the month. Yep. Where you could either achieve tier 1 or tier 2 and get a reward based on which tier you land in. All your points will also add up to, an overall leaderboard, which we haven't seen go live yet, but will undoubtedly go live probably after this month when they start you back at 0. So lots to kind of dabble with engagement wise. It's the first time Candy's done this, and it's here and it's fast and furious, and I love it. They also have opened up suggestions for challenges, like to the community. Like, what would you like to see? The biggest question mark for me is like, what's allowed? Like, what could we do? Could we, like, I am missing, what I'm missing from it is the predictive challenge so far, because the challenges that they've presented are, do you own 5 or 2 rares for prospective MVPs or potential rookie of the year candidates, that kind of stuff, which is fun, but pretty finite. If they had, and not to be in the so rare territory, but if they had anything predictive, like pick 5 players you think will homer this week.
Yep.
That's, I think, where we'll really start cooking, and it'll be a priority to enter here.
Yep. How did it turn out with the call up? So I know there's been a lot of call ups so far. Is that set in stone yet? Have there been 5 that locked in, and has there been a winner announced on that?
I think it was after the 3rd player was called up. Candy was like, no one won. No one nailed it, which, is to be expected. That's like an insane prediction, because what is it, like there were 30 something uncut diamonds, and you had to pick in order the 5 that get called up first. And it was like Jordan Walker, Volpe, and then one other. And once that 3rd one came, they were like, yeah, no,
you all lose.
No one nailed it. But whatever. I think could it have been more expansive, and you getting 3 of the top 5 or whatever? Yeah. And in the future, hopefully it'll be like that. But I'm giving them the credit where credit's due, that they're starting to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's challenges, but looking ahead, this week is going to be a crazy week. We know that they've incorporated plays of the day are now plays of the week. They're pack based. You guys probably talked about this last week.
Yep.
People like myself included have scooped a couple and kept the packs closed, just for people chasing that higher rarity. Others rip and see what they got. But that will happen again tomorrow, I believe. 4 p.m. They're moving it down to 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for plays of the week. Notably, last week, which would have happened after the show, last week was a lot of firsts, or a lot of milestone kind of moments in those packs. Mm-hmm. Did those packs then elevate beyond the previous week's pack? No. Really? But there was Grayson Rodriguez's debut. There was Jordan's 100th home run. Like a lot of kind of milestone moments but didn't really raise the price of the unopened packs at this time. In addition to that, this week, they have this month in baseball, which is the first time we're seeing that. The more I learn about this, the more excited I am.
That's going to be awesome. Break it down. All I saw was a couple of huge moments, like Shohei's first home run.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, I haven't assembled all the information. They've been teasing it on Twitter quite a bit. We know that there will be some milestone moments in addition to, and here's their thread. So there'll be some, in addition to big moments from the month, they will have milestone moments that include Shohei's first major league home run, which you got to imagine that's going to be sought after. I mean,
yeah,
if Judge's first home run from the season is being sold for $1,000, this is crazy. Acuna's first home run from 2018.
Dude, I
Harper's first major league hit from 2012. And I think there's going to be more. So I don't know. It's pretty wild to think that they're already dropping relevant players. They're kind of milestone moments. It's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. So plays of the week, we know $20. The pack scarcity is fantastic compared to what people have done in the past and what other sites do. But this month in baseball will be Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, so 10 a.m. Pacific. And they're saying here they're going to run it for a month. It's going to get sold out pretty quick, I would guess.
It's going to be sold out instantly, I'm sure.
$50 a pack.
Okay.
1,600 packs, 4 highlights per pack. And it's, wow, I didn't even see this. 25 highlights per month with each pack containing 4. So, I mean, look at these edition sizes too. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
I would imagine this is where you find your Harpers and your Acuñas.
Okay.
But maybe not. So yeah, and then they get into a little bit about vaulting and burning. They're already setting the precedent. If we don't sell out, we're going to burn them, so that you're those that take the risk become even more scarce. I love it. I'm excited for it. I think these packs are going to sell pretty fast, and I think they're going to be, not financial advice, but I think they're going to be back on the market for much higher than 50 after the fact. My prediction.
The pack prices will skyrocket. I mean, I think we looked at the packs for the prices for showstopper packs. We took a look at a couple of the play of the weeks last week. Like, we did a brief overview of like what's out there. I remember wanting to see for sure. I wanted to see Adley's 5 for 5 day. Like, we can take a look at those again.
You're gonna get blown away by this floor right now.
No way.
Isn't that nuts?
Are they moving?
They're moving.
At that price. When's the last sale?
Today.
And those are wow. And
wow. What happened yesterday? Look at this.
Wow.
So 500, 600. What is going on? Oh wait, sorry. I'm sorry. Disregard. This is these are for sale. Okay. Disregard. Okay. Yesterday.
300.
This makes more sense.
300. That's awesome.
This makes more sense. But yeah, 315. I mean, who knows if this is the same person buying, but they are buying. They're also ripping because there's 336 unopened left. And to think that I sold one at like 120, I have 3 left. So
it's getting a little tempting, huh?
It's getting tempting. But then the other part of that equation is let's throw showstoppers in here
and see where the legendary pulls are.
Yeah, I mean, even just the floor. I'm a big, sort by lowest ask. Even this was $4, $3 a couple weeks ago. So the bottom of the barrel floor is rising. But let's look at sales.
Oh, Edwin Diaz is the lowest. I'll buy some Edwin Diaz. I'll buy some Edwin Diaz stock when he's down.
So Wander just sold today for 170. Trout, I guess. So yeah, I guess that price is being justified by Epic Trout still being out there, which are selling for 200.
Okay.
Let's look at Ohtani. 250 sold earlier this week. I mean, a rare Ohtani looks like could go for 75. 250. I mean, is Adley up there? Oh, his legendary's out the door. Ooh. So yeah, I don't know. There's seemingly no central location to see how many legendaries are still out there, which is probably driving this huge price jump. I know the lovely people in the Discord are the ones keeping track, but man, it's pretty wild.
I feel like it'd be so cool to have like an aggregated better data site for candy. Like there was that one site where you had to log in, you could kind of track your collection, and I'm blanking on it right now, but somebody out in the candy community built it, and it was, nicely done for that. But not like the own the moment that we got for Top Shot back in the day, or like the evaluate market that we had at the peak of Top Shot. Those type of tools were clutch, just like being able to search up the charts of one particular moment. Like it was amazing.
I'm going to fully not sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I believe it has to do with the API, like API access.
Okay.
Because Serial One and Serial Chaser, they were both provided really good insight. But I think a lot of that was manual with the creators, and shout out to those creators of those accounts.
Yeah.
But I think Candy's API or some other similar phrase to that isn't as accessible as Top Shot, which limits them from like really having things updated in real time. But that's so crucial to the marketplace, I think.
Yeah.
Like I hope for a day that we can see that.
That makes sense. I mean, I've heard very similar things when it comes to like Sorare's API information, also particularly like regarding the price action info that they have on it.
Yeah,
that might be a little bit tougher to do than total supply and stuff like that, but very interesting. Cool, man. Well,
The last quick thing we should say for candy: team packs. Team packs go on sale tomorrow.
Okay.
$5 a pop. $5 a pop. Let's see. I even pulled up a video too. Where is it? Here we go. Though I don't know if you guys talked about this last week, but how these things look are pretty amazing.
We did not. Here we go. Oh, those are so cool. There we go. Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't talk about them, but yeah, we talked about it in our group chat. The more they look like baseball cards, those are so sweet.
Yeah. A shout out to Candy's design team. There's no one better in the game, in any the Web3 game, like Sports Game. They crush this. So what we know about these, $5 a pack, pretty wild. You buy your pack based on your team, or buy pack per team. We can dig into the scarcity of these, but we know that these will be used for code breakers, candy code breakers, which is another way to earn points. It sounds like that entire setup. I don't fully understand it yet. We'll have to see. But what we know about it is that one, which they said in their Twitter Spaces, it's going to be similar to like Wordle.
Yep.
So you'll probably drag and drop players into some kind of squared type code breaking thing. They know it's going to be based around trivia. We know that you'll have to work with people in the Discord. So I think like the collective mind trying to achieve it will probably benefit everybody.
I like that.
And we know there's going to be tiers. There's going to be a easy mode where you get hints, and then there's going to be like a hard mode where it's just completely trial and error. Like,
nice.
And I have to wonder, my hot take here is, I don't know if you've played Pickle in the MLB app.
It's not. I need to get on that MLB app. Well, I have the MLB app. What was the other one that you were talking about?
It's MLB Play. It's
MLB
like where
Play.
beat the streak and all that. But MLB Pickle is basically like Wordle for Major League Baseball. Actually, here, you want to pull up my screen again?
Yeah, there we go.
So if I had to venture a guess, I'd say this is what code breakers will look like. And you're basically starting from scratch. You're guessing any player. So give us any player in the league.
Luis Arias.
Yeah. So you choose Arias, and it pops up with his stats. So yellow indicates the player's plays in either the league or the division shown. Red or green means that the player that we're looking for, we're essentially trying to come up with the player that they are presenting to us. Arise tells us that the player we're actually looking for bats left, throws right, could be either in the NL East or the NL.
Okay.
Or no, I guess that would mean either NL or AL East. I'm not sure, but all right. So let's think of a lefty who throws right.
Would it say switch if he was switch?
Good question. I don't know. We'll just start with righty. Okay. The other thing to think about, and it's actually giving you so it does say switch.
So yeah, switch. Okay.
This has to be a flaw because this is giving us the stats before we have to enter it. So like,
this is fun.
And I should say like the blocked out spaces. So Miami means the player's not on that card. The Marlins. Okay. He is over 26 or under 26, not a second baseman. So
got it. Okay.
Let's go. Let's go Kike.
Kike bats lefty.
So they like give you the answer. So anyway, my point here, we don't have to play this out, but my point is, if I had to venture a guess, this is the similar vibe to what code breakers will be, where you're starting from scratch and you're getting hints and using your team pack icons to finish the job and then get a reward. But
is that the only way to enter with the team pack icons? You're not using any other leadoff icons or anything like that?
Unfortunately, I think that's it.
Okay. All right.
Which, after I dabbled with way too much leadoff, thinking that maybe they could play a part, I think it's just gonna be that.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, at least we know that now.
And then real quick, team packs. This is all they really give us so
Where
far.
do you get those? Monday, starting Monday.
Monday, 1 p.m.
Are they
Eastern.
gated at all by who your team is, or you could just go in and buy every single team that you wanted to
I think you can go and buy every single team. So I
at the
would
same
say
price?
Angels fans, Orioles fans,
Yep.
get in line early.
Yep. There we go.
But we could take a look at the player list real quick. I mean, it's pretty much your whole squad. My question. Oh, and it looks like there will be the same players that appeared in Showstoppers will also appear in this.
Cool.
So that does double their supply on the site. Wander, let's say, yeah, he's in there. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Super fun.
$5. Why not?
What's that? $5.
$5. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Starbucks coffee. All right. Shall we do you know what? I loved how you jumped in, and I just checked the Discord. Nate has his pick in for Sunday Night Baseball. We'll do our picks. I'll show this one real quick because I loved how you dropped in last week and you said the Matt Olson hits a bomb. Braves win. Braves lost.
Could not have been
Matt
more
Olson
on.
did not hit a bomb, but he did have over 1.5 bases. So he ripped a double. So our underdog player prop pick'em hit last week. I took Bogarts, I think, over 1.5 and him over 1.5 too. This is what I like. I didn't really like much on here today. There wasn't a ton of them. I like Heaney under 6 strikeouts and Yordan Alvarez to score a run. Yordan also had some other props on here, like over 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. I didn't like that. I don't like that line unless it's at like 1.5. But this at least gives you, if he gets a walk, which he's disciplined at the plate. And one of those bats behind him comes in. Oh, shoot, man. My bad. Didn't share the screen. There we go.
Oh, no worries. I'm getting in with you. We're going to root together. So Yordan scoring a run, which is not good for my fantasy team, but that's all right. And Heaney under 6 strikeouts.
Yep. And we might be past the deadline on that at this point.
No, we got 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. All right.
Anything else you're going to throw in?
No, I'm rolling with those two. I didn't like the ton of options. Like I'm just going with the most confident picks that I got, and
I might
throw in I like the under. I like the under on Heaney, and I like the Alvarez run.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, who you got for your pick?
I'm going Astros. I'm going chalk here. I got to make up for my terrible take last week. Framber Valdez is too good, and that lineup is too stacked against someone like Heaney. So, going Stros.
For the same reasons, I'm going Stros too, and so is Nate. So all three of us on the Stros jump shoot. What's going on?
It's a wash. We'll have to figure out tiebreakers in the future. I think we're all. Or no, you're ahead. You're 2-0. Here, I have this actually. You are 2-0. Nate and I are both 1-1. We'll have to figure out in the future how best to.
It's gonna be an interesting. We got a long season ahead. So who we got next Sunday? Let me see here. Sunday coming up here is the 23rd. I think that might be the Giants. Yeah, there we go. Mets Giants. Ugh, that's gonna be rough. Mets versus Giants next Sunday, and we'll see how the Giants play this week. I'm not counting them out yet. And then we got Philly, Houston. Okay, so lots of games to pick. It's funny. Oh, this is hilarious. I forgot to tell you this on the Sorare portion. I wanted to mention it. So I was looking at my Sorare lineup, and I was like, oh man, if I would have put Gino in there instead of Teoscar, that's a little bit of a swing because Gino hit a home run last night. And I was like, where would that put me? That would have put me at from I think it went to, I don't know what the numbers were, but it gave me an extra 13 points, right? And I was like, where would I be in the standings if I was up 13 points from now? And I scroll up, and who do we see? 13 points ahead of me. Mike Zakarian.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh man, I gotta see. He had Castillo. Actually.
Mike knows baseball.
Where's he at right now? Can you see? I gotta text him.
I don't know. Let me see what contest that was in. I'll pull that up. I'll see how he's doing.
I'm gonna text him because he had yesterday. He was in 34th with Castillo left to go,
Okay.
and
Let me see
Castillo
here.
crushed. So
Oh man, Castillo's looking good. All right, so it was in this one right here. I'm already down to a limited 5 on that. That's rough. Let's see where. Let's see if we can see Zakarian in the top 50.
also I had to pivot on that prize picks. It wouldn't let me do Haney.
Oh really?
And you also got to do 2 players from 2 different teams. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got to do 2 players from 2 different teams. That's why I had it spread out.
It wouldn't let me do opposing hitters versus pitchers, which makes sense because one informs another.
Yeah, one of these guys got up there. Man, people have been hitting. I don't see Mike in here. On the right thing. Scrolling down. I don't know if I missed him or not. Yeah, he must have fallen pretty heavily, even with Luis Castillo. I don't know if maybe the bats didn't show up today, which happens to all of us. My bats just decided to take the Sunday off. I do want to add Lindor. I would love to add Lindor. I put a bid on him on auction the other day. It's cool to see the dynamic between the secondary market and the auction market. You know, like some people are getting their use out of people and then kind of flipping them into other things. I don't see Mike down here. Here I am at 207. I probably just missed him, to be honest. He's probably up at the top somewhere if he's got.
He said he's in 33rd right now. He needs a Santander or a Mateo Bomb.
There we go. I did miss him. There's his lineup.
So Rarian strikes again. All right, he's got Ashcroft still in the mix. No. Oh, Mateo. I see Mateo. Oh, he's got Pena too.
Just Pena. Those other guys are done, right? Is that Royals game done? Or is the Orioles game done?
I don't know.
33rd. Mike Zakarian, basketball guy. What do you know?
He's got deep baseball knowledge.
It's so Rarian.
So Rarian. What up, Jump Shoot? I saw your message.
Nice. All right. You got anything else?
I'm good. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for my knock on wood fantasy win. Oh, let's see if you got the save. Did Robertson go in? Oh no, they tied it.
Wow.
Oh man. My Athletics against my Mets. Or no. No, I don't have the Mets. My Athletics coming from behind.
Nate's got the Mets, I think. I remember he went 3-4 Mets Padres in the draft. Man.
Good picks. But if my Athletics can pull it out and improve to 4-12 on the season.
Steal one from the opponent. I like that. Every point's gonna matter, man. We're 2 points apart, 3 points apart.
That I love the run differential just because it's like every win you solidify 2 points that will not be taken away. But the run differential, every game that I watch, I'm like, do I have both these teams? It doesn't matter if I do. But then it's like, oh, who am I playing? It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. Is that it?
That's all I got.
That's all I got too. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being in the chats. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, Sundays here at the Weekly Walkoff. Should be the 3 of us next week. Signing off for Greg and myself. We'll see you next time.
See ya.